Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jon Hubbard, director here at Boomer Consulting, and with me today is Sandra Wiley. Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Jon, how are you today?
Doing well. Thank you for joining us. Most of you know Sandra, but Sandra is the president here at Boomer Consulting. And our topic for our discussion today is going to be how to have better business development conversations. How to have better business development conversations. Usually I'm the one asking the questions on these episodes, but Sandra has graciously volunteered to ask me some questions related to this topic. So Sandra, I'll turn it over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jon. It is a pleasure to sit in this side of the seat today. So how to have better business development conversations is the topic. And my first question for you is, why is it so important for firms to figure out how to get better business development conversations going?
Right. And there's lots of reasons. One of the main ones is as accounting firms really strive to kind of grow and increase in the type of services they offer. You hear a lot about the move from compliance to advisory or to consulting. They are finding themselves needing to have different conversations on the front end with prospects and clients in the area of business development. So there's all this talk about packaging and pricing and how to deliver advisory and all the technology around it and all the processes around it and things of that sort. But really where there's been a lack of conversation is, well, how do I have the right conversation with my clients and prospects on the front end there, right? And not make it a presentation to them about all the bells and whistles we have here at the firm, but really have a conversation with them that help me understand their problems and ultimately connect them with the services in our firm.
The jump start, right? It's the how do you have the conversation to start solidifying the relationship and taking the conversation to a bit of a higher level and a deeper with what you want to say to them. So all that sounds good. I'm sure our audience is going, oh yeah, that's what we want. That's what we need.
Right.
So what solutions do you have to help them with that better business development conversations?
Yes. So when I'm talking with firms, I think generally everyone can agree on we need to listen more and talk less in the business development process. But people struggle with, well, what have a lot to say, then it can feel awkward because I'm supposed to listen more. But if they don't have a lot to say, then I feel the need to talk and to kind of fill the conversation with words, right? Yes, exactly. So here's my tip for you. Here's my solution for you. And it's kind of one sentence. Become obsessed with your client's problems, not your services. Become obsessed with your client's problems, not your services. And this is how you do that. For years, we've worked with a methodology in the area of business development called Sandler. So this is a concept that actually comes from them. This is not something we made up, and it's used all around the globe in all sorts of industries. And it's called the pain funnel, which can be kind of a funny name. You feel free to call it the problem funnel or, something like that. But really, it's understanding there are three types of questions you should be asking a client or prospect during a business development conversation. Those three types of questions are surface questions, business questions, and personal questions. And so let me break that down just a little bit real quickly. That is, surface questions are things like, so what problem are you trying to solve? What are the issues you're trying to overcome? Have you tried to solve these before? Right? What came out of that experience? Was it good? Was it bad? Those are kind of high level, surface level questions that are really important. And too often, that's where we stop in the conversation. But we need to be able to drill down. That's why it's called a funnel, to the business section of the pain funnel, which is about how critical are these issues to your company, right? How much are these issues costing your company, your firm, right? What time do you realistically have as a company to put forth to solve these problems? And okay, now we're kind of getting into the business. And if you're talking to the decision maker and to the right individual on the prospect or client side, then the personal, section of the pain funnel is really important. That is, how is this impacting you? Sandra, if I was talking with you in a business development conversation and we go through the surface problems, we go through the business problems that we're talking about. Let's say you were looking to outsource your accounting to someone as the president of Boomer Consulting, and we go through those first two categories and we get to personal. I want to know, Sandra Wiley, what are you thinking about this? If this problem was solved, how would it make your life better? And so if you just want to think about a framework to have better conversations, really use the pain funnel.
I love that. And, we've been using that. That was one of the techniques that we've used at Boomer to just start having better conversations with our clients. And it has been a game changer for us. So what a great idea for our clients to have with their clients. So if your viewers and listeners really wanted to implement, and they listened to what you said and they implemented your recommended solutions, what results do you think? I mean, so what? You're going to have better conversations with your clients. What comes out of that?
Right. So there's two big things. One is, and there's actually more, but two I want to highlight. One is, because you're having better business development conversations, you are going to increase your chances of winning new work and winning the right type of work, right? So too often you may be talking with, let's say, a business prospect, maybe they own a small business, and you can do so much more for them than just their tax return, right? But because you didn't have the right conversations up front, you're missing a huge opportunity, right? And now you feel like you have to work backwards almost, or find some, path back to the conversation to get them to do more with you. So that's one really, really big benefit, firms will have from that. The other is, if you have those right conversations up front, you're going to be able to provide better service to that client. If you don't have these types of conversations, then you're delivering what you think is of value to them and what you think is important to them, right? I was on a conversation with a firm yesterday, and they were expressing their frustration with the fact that no one opens the financial statements that they send their clients. But they, when they do take the time to write a paragraph or to make that 5-minute phone call to provide some insight, a little extra delivery, all of a sudden they realize the value they're bringing. So if you have the right conversations up front, it will help you better align that type of delivery and value you can deliver them.
I love that. And it sounds like, obviously, it's working in your conversations with your clients. They're starting to really understand how to have a conversation with their clients. And we've been talking primarily about accounting, right? Because that's where we spend our world, right? That's our entire world. But is it relevant for organizations outside of accounting? I mean, is what you're talking about relevant in other areas other than just accounting?
Right. Yes. And so the short answer is yes, it is relevant. And I think we can all agree too, right? At the beginning of this conversation, I said we can all agree that in the business development process, we think we should listen more and talk less, right? That's kind of a generally understood kind of assumption. Well, what is also generally understood is a lot of individuals, no matter what profession they're in, have a lot of anxiety around business development, right? Business development can be viewed as this magical unicorn of a thing that only some people can do. And somehow they leave the office, they walk out the door, they come back in and they have a new client. Well, how in the world did they do that? And so this is extremely relevant to organizations outside the profession, because that problem, that anxiety around business development and that vagueness, that fog around how do people develop business is just pervasive.
So this is a kind of an off the cuff question, but So a lot of clients that we have are scared to death. And there's people, it's not just our clients, people out there are scared to death of business development. So do you think the pain funnel is a tool that helps people that have a lot of anxiety actually feel more comfortable when they're having those conversations? I mean, is it one of those tools that helps kind of curtail the anxiety?
Yes, great question. And the answer is yes, it does. It becomes your framework, your game plan for that conversation, right? So, especially when you're starting out to get more comfortable in this, it's very common to sit down and kind of think through, how's the conversation going to go? What am I going to say? Some people say they take a look at their PowerPoint presentation. What am I going to tell about my company? And what this does is make it actually less about you and more about the person you're having the conversation with, and you have your game plan. I would even recommend, especially if you're starting out, creating your pain funnel questions using that framework and taking it with you. There's nothing wrong with taking it with you and saying, hey, we have a set of questions we love to talk through, and I have them right here in front of me, and I just want to have a conversation with you. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you will leave feeling like you had a better conversation, and the prospect or client will leave feeling like they had a better conversation.
I think that's wonderful. All right. Awesome. So, all right. So everybody's sold on it. Everybody who's listening is probably going, ooh, I love this. This is great. So what's the next steps? What do they do to start taking action here?
Right. So if you want to learn more about this, I would just recommend going to boomer.com. We have articles, we have blog posts, we even have some videos on this as well. Check that out. You can also just send me an email directly. It's jon.hubbard@boomer.com. That's JON.Hubbard, HUBBARD.com, or at boomer.com. And I will send you a pain funnel template that you can actually use. I would be happy to share that with you. So that's my recommended next step.
I love it. I love it. And where can listeners find you on social media? Because now they're all wondering, oh, how can I listen to Jon more, or where can I find his words of wisdom? Where can they find you on social media?
Sure. There are three main places you can find me. First one is LinkedIn. I try and do a good job there of posting regular content via videos, articles, blog posts. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Twitter. Every day I'm sending out new information or linking to new articles and resources as well. And I have several videos housed on YouTube as well. So you can just find me on YouTube under Jon Hubbard. And I really break down some of these concepts. I even have a video on the pain funnel as well. That's about 3 minutes. That helps kind of break this down.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jon. It's been a pleasure today.
Absolutely. And I want to throw the thank you back to you because, again, you graciously volunteered to be the interviewer this time. So great job and thank you. And for those listeners, thank you for listening and tuning in. Just a reminder, we release new episodes every Tuesday. So stay tuned for the next one. Thanks so much. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.